Hey, how you guys doing? How y'all doing? This is Joseph from the Pre-PT Grind. Obviously, my name's on the screen, but tonight we have a guest, Greg Todd. He's here talking to us a little bit about some good things that you guys are going to really benefit from. And really, like, we hadn't planned on doing a live today. It's just that this morning, as we were chatting, on Wednesdays, I usually get mentored by Greg. And so as we were conversing this morning, we started talking a little pre-PT stuff. Well, you know what? We got to go live in today. So we decided to come in live tonight. So Greg, thank you so much for joining us. And I know we're sharing it out right now. So as that happens, just kind of for the pre-PTs that do not know you, can you give them a little bit of a quick background on who you are?
Yeah. Been a physical therapist for 17 and a half years. I like to throw in that half, man. I like to throw in the half. I'm counting the half. So,
for sure. You can't miss them.
Yep. So I've been a physical therapist for 17 and a half years. I have owned my own practice for the past 12 and a half years as well.
Yeah.
And basically, I now mentor lots of people in the physical therapy profession. I mentor pre-PTs, PT students, new grad PTs, veteran PTs, old PTs. I mentor lots of different people and try to help them through the things that I needed help on in my career. And so I've done a lot in 17 and a half years. And I've experienced a lot, so I'm able to help a lot of people. That's basically what I do. And I'm also a consultant for lots of companies for the different things, the different skills that I've learned that I've been able to put with physical therapy, and have been able to make basically another profession out of all of that as well.
I love it. Y'all, the other thing is also pre-PT Grind really would not be where it is right now if it wasn't for Greg. Casey and I both went through Greg's course, Smart Success PT, and that's where we were able to kind of take on a project or a platform a program that we had built out on our campus at Andrews University and say, you know what, we can take what we were doing there and actually take it online to help all of you as pre-PTs, because we knew that the same struggles that those pre-PTs were having, you guys would have as well. And so our purpose is to really help pre-PT students get into physical therapy school without wasting time or money. So we want to always make sure that you guys are receiving the best. So that means bringing you guys the best and just making sure that we're hitting a lot of the things that, you know, we had struggles with early on that we wish someone else would have helped guide us through. And so whether by temporary defeat or by learning from other individuals, we had to figure out ourselves. And so we want to put it all together for you. And tonight, I think the direction is going to go off of, so we had a live earlier on. A few weeks ago, we had a live talking about what if I put everything into this PT thing and do not get into physical therapy school? What happens? And then this morning, as Greg and I were talking, the same topic kind of came up. So we're going to call this part two, because as we were talking, Greg actually had some interesting points to make. And as we're talking tonight, guys, feel free to comment. Feel free to ask questions as well, because we want to make sure that we're answering everything and making sure that you guys are taken care of. But Greg, so we were talking this morning and you were like, you know, like on the topic of pre-PTs being afraid. And we'll go into a few conversations I had this morning with pre-PTs as well. But there is a natural fear because the application process usually, honestly, man, like you have programs that are accepting, you know, maybe 40 students a cohort. You have programs that sometimes accept maybe a bigger group of students, maybe 60 to 70 students a cohort. But at the end of the day, it's a very competitive type of thing. And so because of that, naturally, we want to say, well, what if I don't get it? Maybe like, should I have a backup plan? I mean, so those fears start to actually cloud our focus level. So what would you kind of say about all that, referencing what we talked about this morning, brother?
What if I don't get in? I, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's the wrong question.
Mm.
I just feel like it's the wrong question, man. I think the question is like, oh gosh, I feel like the question should be, do I want a career profession?
Ooh.
I think that to me is the better question. What if I
Mm.
don't get in? Maybe do I want a career profession? Because if you
Mm.
want a career profession, you're not even asking about what if I don't get in. If I don't get in, I'm trying again.
Mm.
Like I'm going to get in. I'm going to be a physical therapist. If you want it as a career profession. The
Yeah.
analogy that I was thinking about this morning with you, and I don't know if I explained it clear enough to you over breakfast. I'm not really sure if I did or not,
Michael
but
Jordan?
yeah,
Oh,
it's
made perfect sense.
basketball. It's
Yeah.
basketball, you guys. This is basketball. Look, the playoffs are on right now. Hey, who's on? The people that are on. Is there anybody on right now? Like, can you guys tell me is Cleveland playing the Pacers right now? I think the Cavs are playing, Pacers. I don't know if I'm in this mood
Kurt
because
Brown was
it's
balling out tonight.
okay. Brown's balling out tonight. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is the reason why I'm thinking this way, but it's kind of like this. I look at the physical therapy profession as a real legitimate profession. I
Mm.
look at it like you being a professional.
Mm.
I look at it like you being in an NBA.
Mm.
Like when you become a physical therapist or when you get into PT school, like maybe you're a rookie, you know what I mean? Like you're getting in an NBA. So to me, I say this. I say that if you don't get into PT school, your first try, isn't that like someone not going to the NBA right out of high school? It was your first try.
Yeah.
I look at, okay, if you don't get into PT school after your first year, does that mean that, okay, well, I'm a freshman. I didn't get drafted into the NBA after my first year in college? Does that mean I quit?
Hmm.
Does that mean I quit? I didn't get drafted into PT school after my first attempt, but you're here saying that this is going to be your career profession. You wouldn't even talk like that.
Hmm.
Like you wouldn't even talk like that. The question you need to ask yourself is: do you want to be in the physical therapy profession? It is not something that is a year and done. Like you're not a physical therapist for a year or for 2 years or for 3 years. This is going to be
Yes.
your life.
Yes.
So if you don't get in a year, this is the thing I know today, y'all. What I know today is that there's so many things that you have to learn beyond being just a licensed physical therapist. That is the only way that you're going to win and win big.
Yeah.
So if I'm just saying, if I was in one of those people's situations and I didn't get it, let's say I didn't get it, cool. It's time for me to learn other things. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's time for me to grow. The analogy I was giving you today is that like I've seen lots of people kill it getting in their first try. I've also seen lots of people kill it, get it in on their second try.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen lots of people kill it getting in on their third try. I actually know someone that tried 23 times and finally got in. 23 schools and they finally got in. And today they're a very, very, very successful practice owner. So to me, I take the analogy. Sorry if I'm using basketball and y'all, hopefully everybody understands. But I look at Kobe. Kobe went to the NBA after high school, correct?
Right out of high school.
Okay, cool. I look at LeBron. LeBron went to the
High
NBA
school.
right out of high school. Okay, so to me, the analogy there is that those people got in on their first try. Okay,
Yeah. Yep.
cool. I also know some amazing, 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 amazing players
Hmm.
that got in after their first year of college. Maybe we can equate that to like you didn't get in your first year, but you got in your second try, right? Okay, so I mean, we can name those people. Isn't Ben Simmons one of them? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of people we can name and say, hey, look, like they didn't go right out of high school, but they went after their first year. Okay, cool. I know lots of people that got in and killed it in the NBA after their second year, after their sophomore year.
Mm.
You know, I know one guy that actually got into the NBA after his junior year.
MJ.
Okay, and he really killed in the NBA. So basically, the how long it takes you to get in has absolutely no correlation to how amazing you're going to be in the physical therapy profession.
Ooh.
I actually,
damn.
I actually think, I actually think, I don't have any research on this. Okay, I don't have any research, but I actually think that there might be more of a correlation to you not getting in right away. And you still getting into the profession eventually. I think I personally, I am thinking that you are more likely to actually be successful as an entrepreneur because at least I know that I have proof that you can handle resiliency. I have proof that there's been things in your life that you've been like, you know what? Things didn't go my way and I still was able to thrive. I was still able to get back up. So for me, as an entrepreneur, if I'm looking for someone to run my clinics and on your resume it said you didn't get in, I don't know, bro. I gotta tell you, that's actually something I'm like, man, this person's probably pretty special. So whether you get in or you don't get in, I don't think in the big picture it really makes that much of a difference. Here, the problem is if you quit. Well, to be honest with you, you shouldn't have been in the physical therapy profession to begin with.
Oh.
I mean, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Now, I know that might sound very harsh, and maybe that sounds a little rough, but I have to tell you this. I have to say this. The reason why I say that is because physical therapy is a profession that's based off of delayed gratification.
Always.
Meaning that the people that look, I've been a therapist now for 17 and a half years, okay? And I've worked with thousands and thousands of patients. The truth is that like things don't always go fast. Things don't go always according to plan. So, I've seen this. The one thing I've seen is over the years, I've seen the best physical therapists be the most resilient physical therapists, the ones that don't give up on their patients. And Joseph, you see that in the clinic, right? You're seeing that in the clinic, right?
Yeah,
and you're seeing like those that take it to the next level, like they're the ones that don't give up on their people. So the truth is that I think that honestly is probably what has made me a very good physical therapist clinically. And I think it's because I've dealt with lots of obstacles in my life. So I've built lots of resilience. I think not getting into PT school is one of those things that can actually build resilience. I'm not wishing that on anybody. I'm just saying I think it could build lots of resilience. So whether you get in or you don't get in the big picture, does it really matter? Not really. Not really. It really doesn't matter in the big picture.
It's whether you stop trying or not.
It's whether you stop trying. And I say if someone does not get in after their first try and they quit, I'm actually glad they didn't get in. That person is not built to be a physical therapist. You have no resiliency to you. You have zero resiliency. You're not really fit to be a physical therapist. A physical therapist has to be able to handle resiliency because that's what you're dealing with people. You're dealing with people that are at their low point. So if you're going to quit when they already want to quit, well, then you're actually doing the profession a disservice. So you don't need to be in the profession.
Dang. Yo, the thing is, like, I mean, Greg, you kind of touched on it. For a lot of pre-PTs who have not really, I mean, they've done observation hours. They've done, some have been techs. We have a lot of students here that are non-traditional pre-PT students. So they've gone down a different career path. Heck, I actually feel like for the reasons that you just mentioned, I feel like a lot of our non-traditional pre-PTs are a lot clearer in terms of, their reason for getting into physical therapy because they have gone a different path and they're like, never mind. I knew that PT was it. So, so it might sound rough, but what Greg is saying is actually like, this is life because when you're in the clinic, it's very easy, especially for those of y'all that have already observed, like it's very, very, very easy to deal with the patients that are pretty standard, pretty textbook. You're younger, athletic, self-motivated patients. It's very easy because they kind of do it for you and it actually deceives you. So you'll see a lot of, and I know a lot of, I'm saying this because when I was a pre-PT, I was like, yo, I want to work with athletes. But then you realize that a lot of athletes are self-motivated. They got to get back to playing their soccer season. They got to get back to, they got some matches coming up. They got playoffs. They got.
Okay, I'm still on, so I'm just gonna spit fire for y'all. Hey, y'all throw some questions at me. Y'all throw some stuff at me. I'll say this. Hopefully he'll come back, but but I guess I'm on. So I'm on. All right, I guess I'm on. Yo, look at this, man. The host is off, and I'm gonna host this bad boy now, y'all. I'm gonna host this. Donette, all right, cool. Gabby, I'm on. All right, Kyle, I'm on. Cool. Here's the deal, y'all. The deal is this. The deal is that in life, okay, in life, if you're going to be a physical therapist, and you're going to take it to the next level, you have to be someone that is very resilient. Right now I see Wendy's on. Wendy's one of my PTAs at my Wesley Chapel office. Wendy is a mother. Okay. Wendy is a mother, and Wendy, as a mother, there's things that she's been able to do. There's things that she's experienced as a mom that have actually made her a better physical therapist assistant. Highs and lows of being a mother that have made her a better physical therapist. You guys, there's many things that I have gone through in my life, non-physical therapy related, that have actually made me a lot more resilient, that have made me a better physical therapist. You not getting into PT school is something that could actually make you a better physical therapist. You experiencing obstacles while you're in PT school, I actually say is going to make you a better physical therapist. Now, would that make you a better waiter? I don't know. Would that make you a better waitress? Well, I don't know about that. Would that make you a better realtor? I don't really know. But what I can tell you is that it will make you a better clinician. Why? Because as a clinician, you are dealing with hurting people, y'all. That's the cover charge. That is the cover charge. The cover charge is you dealing with hurting people. That's the only way they step into the building, is if they're hurting. You got it, y'all? That's the only way they step into the building. So if they're at their low and you've never experienced lows, then you can't relate to them. You can't. You can't. Now, I didn't know that at the age of 23 when I became a physical therapist. I didn't understand that. But I can tell you this. Here's the one thing I can tell you. What I can tell you is that at the age of 23, I hadn't really dealt with a lot of major obstacles. Like I didn't really deal with a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of people that I did not get better because when they dealt with obstacles, I didn't know how to handle it. So I was just like, well, I guess physical therapy is not going to get you better. Let me discharge you. Like that's how I handled it. But today at the age of 40, being an entrepreneur, going through the ringer, being a father of 4 kids, being a husband of 17 years and nearly a month. Okay. All right. March 31st was our 17-year anniversary. All right. Like dealing with all the things that I've dealt with today, I'm a much better physical therapist. Now I'm not treating in a clinic much anymore, but I'm a much better physical therapist. I've been a much better. And I can't say it's because I got this certification or I got that certification or I got this or I got that. Like I got my OCS when I was like 3.5 years out of school. I got my CSCS. I was a CSCS. I got that while I was in school. So the truth is I can't say that my certifications is what made me better and it's just straight off of my experience. I didn't quit on people. I stopped quitting. I stopped quitting because I dealt with more things and more obstacles and I was able to stand up after falling down. And I'm telling you right now, that's a big part of physical therapy. It's a huge part of physical therapy. So if you don't get in, don't fret. The bigger question you should be asking yourself is this. Do I want physical therapy as a career profession? Yes or no? Or was I just trying to do this thing like I was trying to kind of maybe like work at the mall or, you working at GameStop or you working over here or you working at, you working at this little restaurant. Like that's not like maybe a true profession. Like you're just trying to do a little thing. You know what I mean? You're just trying to do a little thing. Doing a little thing is different than making a true profession. A true profession, it's your life's work. So 1 year of a little blip, okay? Like a little blip, like that's not like, and you quit, that doesn't mean that you're doing your life's work. Physical therapy is my life's work. That's my life's work. That's what I want for every single one of you to look at it as your life's work. Like that's what you have been called to do right now in your life. Okay, so maybe you're trying to get into PT school. Well, if that's your true life's work, then this is like this is how it's gonna go. Like you might get in first time, you might not. You might fail a class while you're in PT school, you might not. You might fail your boards once, twice, you might not. I don't know, but it's your life's work, so you don't give up. You got it? All right, awesome. So let me do this. Let me answer some questions. If it was easy, GT, would you have done it? I mean, honestly, Nate, it's a hard question to answer because I wasn't as mature as what I was at the age of, 20 or whatever when I, was in PT school. I wasn't as mature as what I am today. I don't know, I don't know. But today, what I do know is I know that today, if I didn't do it, I would have, unfortunately, would have lived a life of regret. It would have been awful. You know what I mean? It would have been awful that I would have quit. I'm so glad I didn't. But today is to help you all just understand that, man, gosh, I just wish y'all could see what the finish line looks like. I wish you could at least, look, I'm not at the finish line, but I wish you could see what it looks like if you can put into work over time. Like, I just wish that you all could see that. And that's why I do the things that I do. That's why I just want to be that resource to you all, Let's see. What's the next question? What's the next question? Let's see here. Somebody asked some other questions here. Let me see something. Let me see if I can find them here, y'all. Somebody asked another question because I can't go back. Unfortunately, I can't go back because I'm not hosting this thing. You know what I mean? But right now, man, I'm like the tag team partner right now. So if you guys have any other questions, I think Donette said, great lesson. I'm in the midst of learning, getting up after falling. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, Donette. By the way, I think I'm going to see you at live. Is that correct? I think I'm seeing you at live, Donette. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, y'all. Here, I'll tell you another quick story. I'll tell you something else. It's something that I think I told this to Joseph today as well during our little mentoring session. Look, I'm a sports guy. I like to follow some sports, and one thing that I think is really important. Nicole, I'll answer your question in a second, but you guys have to understand, man. Obstacles and pitfalls are really, really important. They really are. I was talking to Joseph about a few NFL players. One guy, Johnny Football, Johnny Manziel, and this guy came from a well-to-do family. Was just an amazing athlete, killed it, was killing it, in high school and football, was known as Johnny Football. I remember that game he beat Alabama, and the guy never really dealt with a lot of adversity. And then when he got to the NFL, he started dealing with adversity. And because he's never really dealt with a lot of adversity, he just couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it. And you can see it's like, you guys trust me, you don't want the climb to be easy. You don't. You might think you do, but at some point when you level up, you're going to feel obstacles. And if you don't know how to deal with it, you're like a lot of people, like they're going to fail. Like they're going to fail because they've never dealt with it. They've never dealt with obstacles. So please, if you don't get into PT school, please embrace it. Like embrace it as part of your journey as you climb to your life's work. Okay, cool. All right. How do you feel about residency programs after school? Nicole Marie, how do you feel about residency programs after school? To be very honest with you, Nicole, I don't personally, at least here, let's just put it like this. If you're in outpatient physical therapy, that's me. I've been in outpatient physical therapy for 17 and a half years. Depending on what your goals are, I personally don't think, for most people that come into my world, that come into my space, they're asking me, Greg, I want to be a business owner. I want to be a practice owner. I want to have a clinic one day. And if they say to me, what do you think of residency programs getting me ready for that? I say no. I don't think they get you ready for that. Now, if you want to improve your skills as a clinician, will residency programs build confidence and gain more confidence for you? Yes, I do believe so. I do believe so. How does that translate to earnings and whatnot? I don't really know if it does. I don't think so. So it really all depends on what you're trying to get from the residency program. I mean, there's got to be some benefit to it, but really the bigger question is, what do you want out of your career? And then let's talk about, okay, well, what do is a residency program going to get you closer to what you essentially want from your career? So, okay, can you tell us what kinds of things we should work on if we don't get into PT school the first or second time? That's from Britt. Britt, again, depending on what it is that you want to eventually do. The one thing I can say for sure that you can work on is personal development. Personally developing yourself and you becoming just a better all-around person, more marketable, developing different skills. In today's world, 2018, you having additional skills besides your physical therapy skills will take you a long way. It will accelerate and catapult your career. Some of those skills are marketing. Some of those skills are presentation, your communication skills, your networking skills. I call that a skill. Learning the other aspects of what creates money in physical therapy, billing, collections, customer service, online, learning Facebook, learning Instagram, learning how people are using those platforms to create online, online business in health and in fitness. Gosh, there's so many things. There's so many things y'all got to know. There's just so many things that if you don't get in PT school, shoot, that might be one of the best things that ever happened to you. I mean, it really could, because you'll focus on other things and you'll also appreciate PT school a hell of a lot more. I can tell you this. I remember this. When I was in PT school, when I was at FIU, there were people that didn't get in. It was their third, fourth, or fifth time. Man, they were so thankful and appreciative of the opportunity to be in. And the ones that got in their first time around, whatever. So there's just a lot of things that you could do to make yourself just much more of a valuable physical therapist, on a whole, that you're not going to get in PT school anyway. So you might as well learn those things from now. So,
Yep.
Okay. PTA or PT, that's from Billy Moore. Again, it really just depends on what it is that you are trying to do. What is going to be your end game? That's really what it depends on. For me, in my clinics, PTAs and PTs have totally different roles. In my clinics, PTAs and PTs have totally different roles. Our PTAs are doing lots of treatment. Our PTs are doing they're like, here, this is how we do it in my company. In my company, the PT is basically the head coach. The PTAs are basically the assistant coaches, right? The patient is the player, okay? Our techs are specialty coaches, meaning that they just do whatever the PTA is telling them to do. But our PTs are basically overseeing the entire game plan. So every place is different. Every place is run different. And one of the big questions people ask me is, can a PTA run a practice or own a practice? Of course you can. Shoot, 90% of physical therapy is run by non-physical therapists anyways. So PTA can open up a practice. PTA can run a practice. Depends on what you're trying to do. Depends on what you're trying to do, and it depends on where you're going to be working and how are they going to be able to utilize the skills that you learn as either a PT or a PTA. So, if you want to be the head coach, if you want to be the overseer, at least if you're working at Renewal, if you wanted to be the overseer, you wanted to be the one that's calling all the plays, then I would say to you, become a PT. If you were like, look, I want to be like in the game. I want to be working with the players. I want to be working with the players. Like, you know what I mean? I want to then become a PTA. But again, that's how my model is. But you know what I think is a problem, though? You know what I think is a problem? Joe says, should I get off now?
Go on right ahead, bro.
Ask me questions. But you know what I think is a problem is that because there's no unified way of doing things, there's no unified way of doing things in PT, in the PT profession, in the physical therapy, profession, then it's like the way that I do it at my office might be totally different than the way that they do it at another office. So I tell you this on a live stream and I'm like, yo, do it this way or do it that way. And it's like, that works for my office, but I don't know if they're doing that somewhere else. Now that's a problem. Like, I think that actually is a problem. I think, you know, because there's no unified way that we're doing things, it's very hard for people to say, man, I thought I was going to be able to do this when I got out of school. Man, I thought I was going to be able to do that. That's why in many cases, I tell y'all, you just got to go do your own thing so you can do it the way that you see fit. Shoot, if you're a PT, go do your own thing. You're a PTA, go do your own thing, or work for someone that does it your way. So there you go. All right, folks. Does anybody have any other questions?
Fire.
Anything else? Anything else you want me to talk about? You want me to juggle now? You want me to juggle? Anyways, I want to thank you guys for, you know, listening in, for chiming in. If you have any other questions, you can, throw them here. But basically, the deal is this. I think what's most important, you know, for you all is just to understand that that this is an amazing profession. It really is. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing profession. And if done right, like you really, there's just no reason why you shouldn't be satisfied on a daily basis from being a part of this profession. There's no reason. The thing I want to close out with tonight is just understanding that you have to decide, is this going to be your life's work? Yes or no? That's really it. You have to decide, is this going to be your life's work? If it's going to be your life's work and this is going to be a career profession for you, then really there is no question of what if I don't get in? There really is no question of, what if this doesn't pan out this year? There's no question. If this is your life's work, then this is your life's work. You're going to get in whenever you are going to get in, okay? And you are going to be the best possible physical therapist or physical therapist assistant that you are possibly going to be. And you understand that it's going to take work and it's going to take effort and you're going to have to develop additional skills and you're going to have to do all of those things in order to take yourself to the next level and be the premier physical therapist out there. So you are going to utilize your time wisely. You're going to utilize your time properly if you don't get in. You're going to use this year that you don't get in as a year for you to develop the other skills that you need to develop in order for you to be the premier physical therapist. So for those of you that are still on, let me ask you something. Go ahead and put it in the comment section right now. Are you trying to be an average PT or are you trying to be top PT? Put it in the comment section right now. I'll stay on until I'll wait another 30 seconds or so. Put in the comment. Just put top PT if you're going to be a top PT, and then put average PT if you're going to be an average PT. That's a really important thing to understand, y'all. That's a really important thing. Like, you're going to be a top PT? Okay. All right, cool. Erica's going to be a top PT. All right. Joseph's going to be a top PT. Carl's going to be a top PT. Donette's going to be a top PT. Amar's going to be a top PT. Okay. So that's it. If you're going to be a top PT, then that's it. That's it. Well, I'm telling you, so am I a top PT? I mean, if I'm a top PT, right? Can we agree that I'm doing all right? If I'm a top PT, then that means that I'm telling you what it takes to be a top PT. Well, you got to do more. You got to do more. You got to do more. You got to do more than what you're going to learn in PT school. So you're going to use that time away, that time that you didn't get in, to take yourself to that next level of what top PTs do. And tonight, I told you what top PTs do. So that's how we're going to handle it. That's how we're going to handle it. So I want to thank you, Felicia, for coming on. I want to thank you, Casey, as always. I want to thank you, Kyle. I want to thank you, Matt. I want to thank all of you for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. Joseph, sorry about the little technical glitches, but we still got this done, homie. We still got it done. We still handle it.
For sure.
You guys have a good night. We'll talk later. Peace.
Man. Absolute fire from the man himself. I know you couldn't hear me there at the end, but thank you guys so much for joining us. Tomorrow night, we will be back here for another live with Casey and myself, the Pre-PT Chat Live. Do not miss it. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us at contact@preptgrind.com. We'll see you guys. Y'all have a good one. I hope that gave you some power. I hope that gave you some energy. I hope that gave you some motivation for those of you that have been doubting whether physical therapy is something that you'll be able to actually accomplish or not. Y'all have a good evening. Many blessings. Bye.